What the? Where am I?
Hello, Sean. Or should I call you Nace, or I want to play a game. You criticize video games on the internet in the hopes of blowing up, which is why this room is rigged with explosives planned to detonate in approximately 1 hour. Unless, of course, you play my game, Saw, released on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Your task is to make a Saw game retrospective before the room explodes. But let's keep things interesting. For every time you criticize the franchise, you lose 5 minutes. Good luck, bitch.
Are you kidding me? Don't criticize the franchise. Have you seen the movies? The first one was pretty good. The second one, maybe even an improvement. But 3 through 6 was just a jumbled mess. You gave up on 7 and called it 3D, and that trailer alone was atrocious. Jigsaw tried its best, but was just a confusing prequel, and don't even get me started on Spiral. I'd ask how it takes 10 movies to peak, but I saw the other 9. Okay, yeah, that's my bad. Saw is undoubtedly known for their currently 10 movie-long franchise, and despite these movies' timelines being all over the place and very difficult to keep track of, they are beloved. Yes, they're gory. Yes, they're crazy. No, John Kramer is not a killer, despite having killed multiple people. They did it to themselves, remember? And about what I said about Saw X being the best in the franchise, I wasn't joking, it's really good, and I am looking forward to Saw 11. But despite these being what even made the franchise exist in the first place, that's not what we're talking about today. Because shortly after the release of Saw 6, Saw the video game was released. And a year after that, there was another one named Saw 2. And there is nothing funny or confusing about that at all. But since I am on a bit of a time limit, I think it's best if we only talk about the first game for right now. The events of the game are considered canon, but it wouldn't be a piece of Saw media if it was released in order, which is why the events of the game take place after the first movie. And who knows, maybe we'll even see some familiar faces. The game starts off with some of Saw's famous fast cuts, along with a reverse bear trap on Detective Tapp. And hey, I know that guy! Lucky for us though, the reverse bear trap is one of the least successful Saw traps.
That was styrofoam. We'll live. We can live that.
Unlucky for us, I don't know what I'm doing. Eventually I figured it out. We had to press the corresponding flashing number while spinning the mouse around, but if this trap is any indication for the future, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. At this point, if it wasn't already obvious, this is a puzzle game, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the sharpest spoon in the knife drawer. Or whatever the saying is. But luckily, all we need to do to get out of this bathroom is line up the writing on the stalls with the mirror, and honestly, the hardest part is putting in the code. The controls center very much on the positioning of your mouse, and although it's not a problem now, in stressful situations, I guarantee I will be freaking out. We get to another room where Jigsaw misplaced a fuse we need in a toilet full of used needles. Classic Jigsaw. I don't know how that happens, but we have time, so we'll take them out one by one so we don't get hurt.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay.
With that plan out the window, I guess we're just shoving our hand in there, and it does not look fun. We get ready to continue forward just to find out that Jigsaw stole our shoes and socks, and he wants you to think it's because we have to walk over broken glass. But I know a foot fetish when I see it, and I want royalties. Good old-fashioned freak Saw over here decided to jump scare me within the first 10 minutes.
Oh shit!
And that trauma ran throughout the rest of the game. I am not taking any chances.
Yeah, I'm gonna close doors behind me.
We're told there's other people being held captive here who it's our job to save, but you know what would be great? If I had my kneecaps.
Oh fuck.
Turns out there's a few games running at the same time, and most of them interfere with ours. How is this fair? It's an us or them scenario, and either way, one of us dies. And you mean to tell me you're not a killer? I'm not playing your little game, Jigsaw. Okay, what do we do next? Shotgun doors do exist, and they are here. But luckily, they're easy enough to disarm. What won't be so easy is the fact that it turns out there is a key button inside of us, which is used to free a lot of the people here. First off, stop putting things inside of people. Second, why is our next task to retrieve a key you put inside of somebody?
Jeez, why was there barbed wire? Why'd you put barbed wire in a body? That's so fucked.
Wait a second, is that Amanda? Before we can get to her, we have to cross a balance beam, get a little spooked.
I don't like the noises. Freedom. Okay, is an illusion. You fucking asshole.
Get pranked by Jigsaw and completely misunderstand a puzzle.
My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
I kept trying following the lines on the ground and walls, thinking it would show me the door I had to open. The game kept telling me to look at things from a different perspective, and you think I would have caught on, right?
Yeah, but what does that mean, though? Oh shit, this is where I find out I'm a dumbass. Okay, it has to do with this. Oh! Holy shit, it's a gun. Man, the fact that I was right next to accidentally opening up the right one. Whoa! No thank you!
Jigsaw is such a douchebag. He goes from taunting us about our dead partner to starting a countdown in a room we just walked into. It happens quite frequently, and we just have to figure it out no matter how close it gets. Side note, he also does not care how many challenges you complete, he will still just randomly jump you. Besides flaring up my trust issues, he was nice enough to bring us to Amanda's trap. And for those of you that don't know, this isn't Amanda's first rodeo, and it's certainly not her last. Well, if you don't fuck it up, that is. I was a bit confused. Yeah, red goes to the left and blue goes to the right, but which is antidote and which is toxin? I figured it out, and after 2 versions of the same game, both Amanda and us are set loose. This prompted a really strange sequence that reminded me of how Telltale Games used to do their recaps. However, immediately following, we get separated, once again leaving us on our own. We're introduced to booby traps which are set up around the asylum. Apparently we can arm them to use against enemies, but what I should have read is that we need to disarm them first.
Okay, I didn't know it was there. How am I supposed to disable that?
Also, you need to look at the tripwire in order to do so. And hopefully, that's it for our breast reduction. We get kidnapped and attacked again by another pig mask, which is just a little bit aggravating because Jigsaw, we're doing what you want us to do. You are the one guiding us down this set path. Play the game fair, please. Now we have a necklace of shotgun shells set to go off if certain people walk too close to us. For example, struggling in combat? Boom. And let's just say, you will always be struggling in combat. Attacking takes ever so slightly too long, and most of the time you end up getting stuck in a corner. Eventually we made our way to a maze that used steam in order to block our paths, and no matter how cute it looks, do not touch it, it's an instant death. There is a guy trapped in the boiler room, and I thought we had to save him, so I disarmed all the traps around him, but turns out he wants the key that's in my stomach, so I had to set them all back up just to beat him to death. It was then up to us to connect the pipes for the boiler, and embarrassingly, this took me 5 minutes. This is one of the games that is controlled solely by your mouse, and it can be a pain in the ass to control. I'm just happy there wasn't a time limit. God damn it! We're stuck running for our lives around a maze I don't remember, dodging explosions and steam pipes until the boiler finally bursts. We switched our lighter out for a camera on our way to the next section, and after getting our mind blown,
Those fucking things suck.
twice,
God fucking damn it.
we made our way to the next victim we're supposed to save. We need to connect gears from start to finish, and I promise this is a lot harder than it looks. Especially when in the middle of you placing gears, the camera keeps panning away telling you to hurry up. Not to mention you need to complete 4 separate puzzles, and although the first 3 were fine, I got a bit caught up on the 4th. Thank God there's such thing as redos, because otherwise I have a higher kill count than Jigsaw, because you know, it's not like he ever killed anybody. Jennings, the guy we just saved, seems to agree because we get blamed for everyone being here and get called a killer. Bonus fact, Jennings is here because he killed someone with his car and then falsely imprisoned someone else for his crime.
He was homeless. He didn't have a family. He meant nothing to anyone.
What about the innocent man you put in prison?
I'm starting to wish we didn't save him. He sprints right at us and then into the darkness, and just like that, we're back on our own. Sighted or blind is our next dilemma. Blind is easier, but you're in the dark. I gave this one a few goes, but the camera flashes gave me a headache, and eventually, I just couldn't take it anymore. The sighted path, although supposedly harder, doesn't give me the fear of seizures, and honestly, is not bad at all. Also, no idea what the fetish is with the syringe toilet bowls, but they appear several times, and it just begs the question.
You know, when there's no time limit, I think you can do that safer than just shoving your hand in there. Just an idea.
I think I might have pissed him off with that last one, because now he's trying to electrocute us. We needed to find a 3-digit code using the numbers on the wall, and I had the genius idea of standing on one of the puzzle pieces on the ground to find it. And surprisingly, I was right. Although on further inspection, there are several different marks on the ground, so I'm pretty sure I just got lucky. Hey, buddy, do you know the way out of here? Hey, what do you got there? Well, I guess that's one way out. We enter a room where the door locks behind us, and wait a second. This isn't a shower. Did I just have Taco Bell? Cause this room's filling with gas. Let's get one thing straight, I never stood a chance. These type of puzzles are my downfall, only second to the booby traps. But right now, with having no way to heal, even just the glass on the ground is getting me. Finally, after getting outside, I'm not taking any chances. God damn it! You think I'd learn by now to keep an eye on the ground, but we have bigger issues like a pig mask on the prowl and glass, because why am I struggling to find help? If anything, it's making me a bit more observant, and after finally opening a first aid cabinet to heal up, I'm being extra careful.
I feel like a little bitch, but that's just because I am right now. You know what? Let's lock that shit. Ain't nobody coming to get my ass. Fuck. Oh my god.
Okay, now I'm being extra careful. Finally, I get my hands on the key and we can head inside. I think by this point, it's pretty obvious that the only way I'm dying in a saw trap is my own stupidity, and that point gets hammered home even more after I complete an entire room full of tasks and only die because I missed what was written on the door.
Close the door. God damn it.
We nearly get attacked by another pig mask, but just barely escape thanks to our superhuman reflex. We reach our fourth victim, who is Melissa Singh, better known as our deceased police partner's wife, and we've been getting terrorized with his death all game. That grave we had to get the key out of earlier had his name on it, and now it's up to us to save his wife. These puzzles feel like home to me because I used to have to do them all the time in Skylanders. If you know, you know, and if you don't, I am so sorry. This is the first time I successfully saved someone on the first try, and I should be happy, except for the fact that she keeps telling us that we shouldn't have saved her.
I wish you hadn't saved me from that thing. I wish I were dead too. Anything would be better than this.
You know what? I kind of agree with her. On the we shouldn't have saved her part.
You deserve this.
Melissa.
He said if I made it this far, I could choose to leave. I'm leaving. And I'm not sorry. Goodbye.
Melissa, you're making a bad choice. You're making a bad...
Anyway, call me lonely because I am, and no amount of baseball bat being cracked over my skull is gonna change that. If you were here for a flawless run of the game, you should have left a long time ago. Combat? No. Escaping a meat locker? Just a few seconds too short. Hell, I only got out of this room full of mannequins because I accidentally turned on the right light. Jigsaw is back on his...
I've never killed anyone.
Bullshit, and it just makes me think, is it that easy to gaslight yourself into thinking you're a good person? Anyway, there's a cute little Billy puzzle, and after putting it together, we meet victim number 4, Oswald. We have to complete 3 different levels of connecting circuits, and I didn't think I would be making this connection to a Saw game, but thank you, Webkins, because Home Before Dark was my shit, and it plays so similar to this. Finally, after freeing Oswald, we don't have to be alone.
Go that way. I'll look in here.
Honestly, I can't even blame him. The next part of the game has us grabbing a frozen hand, and would you believe me if I said there was a key inside of it? You should, because there is. This key leads us to Obi, who you might remember from the second film. Spoiler, but in that one he gets incinerated. In the game, however, he gets incinerated. Okay, well, he's not supposed to, but it's the stupid connecting the pipe puzzle, and we know I'm not good at these. When we do finally free him, because we need to free everyone, otherwise we can't move on, he's pissed because he asked to be here and we supposedly ruined his game. He's so mad, in fact, he throws a little tantrum and runs away. I'm used to it at this point, and I'm starting to realize that nobody wants to be with me. In the video game. I'm talking about the video game. For the most part. New mission. Find the light. And guys, I think I found it a few times. Vegans look away and gays come here because it's Grinder and there's meat all around. After grinding up enough pigs, the key we need floats to the top, leading us to nearly freeze our tits off in a freezer. No booby traps needed. At least, not for us.
Okay.
Then again, maybe that didn't really happen because all of a sudden I'm schizophrenic.
Okay, I don't like the disappearing people.
We all saw that guy, right? See, they get me. Just because we have the light bulbs doesn't mean we have the code. I learned that the hard way. But that's nothing a little luck can't fix because when messing around with the lights, I apparently got it. Leading us to victim number 6, Jeff. His reasoning for being here?
You have tried to take your own life on multiple occasions because you cannot endure the mental pain of everyday life.
Tell me about it.
We have to play a matching game, but with items that go together, not that are identical. Now, I was a bit busy not paying attention to the rules, so whoops. But if I was, I feel like it would look something like this.
Camera. Oh wait, that's... Oh my god! That wasn't film. That's film. Those were shotgun bullets. Dude, I'm sorry. I just got him stabbed in the dick.
That looked painful. Are you bleeding?
Are you... What do you mean, are you bleeding?
As we finally start making some ground on Jigsaw, our good old buddy Pigmask finally decides to pounce. Not only does he barely take damage, but he hits like a truck. We're going to have to get super lucky to even get a chance of taking him down. He grabs us by the neck and lifts us off the ground, and if you couldn't tell, it caused some panic. But for some reason, his sole attack became choking us out, and anything in between was just me throwing constant jabs. Intentional? I doubt it, but I love when things work in my favor. And finally, after all the challenges, we come face to shadowy figure being offered up our final choice. Truth or freedom. The only thing standing in our way, a 10-minute time limit and plenty of obstacles. We get lit on fire, bash some brains in, get gassed again, and are forced to disarm a bomb. Through all odds, we once again come out on top, now leaving us with only one choice. And after hearing the offer, it only feels fair to pick freedom. As we spent so much time trying to save the people here, it seems unfair to throw all those lives away, regardless of how shitty the people are. And just like that, the credits roll. Although, one more thing happened while I was trying to skip the credits.
Oh my god.
For those of you wondering what happens if you choose truth, you end up chasing down Jigsaw before finally breaking down the door to the roof. Detective Tapp just starts laying into him, but something doesn't seem quite right. The figure you chased all this way drops a tape recorder, which describes instructions on what to do in order for Melissa to escape. As she tries to get away, she forgets to disarm a tripwire, and immediately after we get flashes of Detective Tapp tied down to a hospital bed. Or is it a Saw trap? Either way, the signature sliding door closes, and that's Saw the video game. Look, I love spooky shit. I'm a whore for horror, you could say. And this game scratched that itch. I didn't have very high expectations going into the game, and if I'm being honest, that was my mistake, because it was done surprisingly well. It honestly reminded me of a Telltale game, if in no other aspect the art style, and I've seen a bunch of people saying that it would do better as such, but if I'm being honest, I'm not so sure if I agree. I would have loved to be able to have more choices, or at least failed saving people, just something to make it feel like there was a bit more weight, but I feel like the puzzles and the traps were done in a way that a Telltale style wouldn't have been able to capture the same way. My biggest gripe with the gameplay would have to be the combat. It was very hit or miss, pun intended, and unfortunately, it just happened to miss a lot. As for visually, I wish the non-pre-established characters looked a bit different. What I mean by that is that they didn't appear in a movie, but they're in the game, and they all look like basic bald white man, and they look the same across whether they had a unique trap, they were just a random NPC that you were fighting, or one that just died in the background. They all look exactly the same, and I really struggled to figure out who was who, and it was ugly, and you could have done better. With that, and for the sake of getting out of here, that's all my gripes with the game, and I guess I'll see you guys around.